Hello, you are watching the MA Module 6 Administrative Side course MA108 Basic Office First Aid video training. So in the Basic Office First Aid course, you will be using the KINS Medical Assisting Fundamentals book. You'll be in Chapter 22, Reception and Daily Operations. This chapter, we will focus on only the safety and security pages, which are pages 512 through 519, and these will be done as a review. We'll also be in Chapter 40, Medical Emergencies. This course will require the use of the Basic Life Support book. It is a softcover book provided to us through the American Heart Association. This book is called the Provider Manual. Each student will have a manual to use during this program. And then we have, to make sure that we keep in mind, it takes time to get these BLS and CPR supplies to the campus. So as with all starts, make sure that you're placing your supply order at least 2 weeks before the module begins. That way there'll be enough time to get all the items that you need. And if they're on back order, you should still have time to get them to your campus. This is a course where both programs, the hybrid and the on-ground students, will be participating. It's imperative that you work very closely with the clinical instructor, because students will also be learning the hematology and venipuncture portion of this module at the same time that you work together to find a day or a time that the CPR training can take place to include all of the students. This is kind of a unique module to where time is very, very important, especially the allotment of time that you're going to need to get through all of the criteria that students are supposed to be meeting. So make sure that you are working closely, not just with your clinic instructor, but also your campus supervision, to provide a seamless transition for students to get through all of this work. This is an example of what your module shell will look like. It's a standard setup like all of the modules and all of the shells. There's a SurePath program that will also be used in here, so you will be responsible for setting that up. If you're not sure, make sure that you are going back to the SurePath portion of this training course to get the step-by-step directions. The syllabi must be reviewed with all students. There's one row in this module. And then there are some optional ICAs that you may choose to use or not use as graded assignments or activities. The days are set up exactly the same as the lesson plan days. So any information that you find in the shell should be corresponding with the days in the lesson plan. There is a site that is referred to in the lesson plan, and this is the online First Aid for Free course. There are links to this basic first aid course online. This is a great website. It has so many resources for you. I suggest that you as an instructor sign up for free. Go in there and explore this course. This has not only just videos to show, but other topics that aren't technically included in this course, but are available to you to present along, because they go with first aid and with CPR. Look through it and see if there's something you can glean from it that's interesting that you might want to add as just extra material. So there are sections for the students to read, videos for the students to watch, and then there are little quizzes for them to do. A few of those quizzes are required. Many of them are not required. These are ancillary materials that go along with what you're teaching, so they do correspond with each other. If you are a CPR instructor, you will be responsible for teaching the CPR portion of this course. You will be following the AHA guidelines. Please meet with your campus supervision on where your equipment is and your teaching materials are for this. There's a DVD that goes along with this course. The DVD may be replaced eventually with an online video recording. Double check with your supervisor to see if this is available to you. There are AHA guidelines that must be followed with teacher-student ratios. There are also special ways to take care of the CPR equipment. We do have electronic mannequins that must be cleaned a certain way and stored a certain way. I highly suggest that you learn how to take care of these mannequins and then store them properly for the next time that CPR is taught. Students will be using an AED. That is part of this training course. If you are not a certified CPR instructor through the AHA, then find out from your campus supervision who's responsible for providing training to students. Some campuses will have one instructor who does all the CPR training for students. And in that case, you will not be part of that training, but I highly suggest that you try to get your instructor CPR certification. Ross will be able to help you along with that process. Once students have completed that CPR training, they will be provided with an electronic BLS CPR Heart Saver card that they can add to their professionalism paperwork, and that'll be helpful with them when they're trying to find a position out in the field. Okay. The CPR course will require our students to take either the exam A or exam B through the American Heart Association. These exams are exact replicas of each other with the questions moved around a bit. So when you're giving this exam, and this exam is only to be given to students who've completed the full CPR training at Ross, you're going to give one exam to everyone, making sure that students are only looking at their own computer screen. The CPR exams for now are electronic. They will be switched back to paper if and when the American Heart Association requires that. So it's your responsibility to publish either A or B for your students to take, not both. If students have not completed the CPR BLS training through the American Heart Association, then they will be required to write a report instead. They will then not take either test, and they will not be certified. That doesn't mean down the road they cannot become certified in CPR and BLS. They would have to attend a course from another program or from the medical assistant opposite, maybe in the day class or the evening class when it comes up. But it will not be part of this grade. Okay, so the CPR report would be done instead. Now, hopefully that's not the scenario and all your students are able to take one of the CPR exams. If you do have students that have chosen to not participate in training and are going to be writing the CPR report, it's very important when you get to the grading section of the shell that you leave anyone who did not do the report, that section blank. Do not put a 0 in. And for the student who was to take the exam that could not because they are doing the report instead, that section of the exam in the grade book where you would put their grade, that you leave it blank. Do not put a 0. If you put a 0 where it's not supposed to go, it will artificially lower the student's grade, and we do not want that to happen. As with all of the module shells, there are embedded videos for you to show that help a student understanding of the course topics and proficiencies that they will have to perform. So I hope that you found this video helpful. Please make sure you're spending time reading the lesson plan thoroughly. You're reading the chapters that you're going to have to teach, and that you're going through each one of the assignments and tests that you have to give, so that you're prepared when students have questions to answer them. So thank you for watching the recording, and have a good rest of your day.